So one thing that we've been pleasantly surprised about is how much we would actually see our family when we started RV life. Now, when we lived in Raleigh, we did have some family there, but the majority of our family did not live in Raleigh. We have family in Alabama and we have family in Florida. Jen's dad lives in Gulf Shores, Alabama. My mom lives in the Villages of Florida, and my dad and my brother both live in South Florida.
Now, and my brother's in Durham. Yeah, gotta round it out.
And her brother's in Durham.
And my other brother's in Washington.
So, and my other brother's in Washington. Yeah. And we've actually seen them too. I wasn't even thinking about them for this video because we happen to be in the East, but we got to see them. So we've seen family a lot more often than we really ever did before.
Actually, we saw Jeff twice.
We saw Jeff twice. Yeah, yes. That's her brother. And I think really just because since we live this nomadic lifestyle, it's a lot easier for us to travel to places. So that's pretty cool. I know a lot of people I've seen on the forums are concerned about missing their family. And while that may be true if you actually live in the same town as a lot of your family, if you don't live in the same town as a lot of your family, it could be a nice side benefit to going full-time RV life because you will have the opportunity to see more family.
So we're talking about family, and we're also talking about friends, right? Because we love our family, but we also love our friends. And, you know, it's been kind of interesting in the time of Corona where we've been reaching out to people when we go into a town where we know people. And you have to kind of delicately ask them, like, do you want to get together? It's okay if you don't, right? Or saying, I'm fine being socially distanced and wearing masks, whatever that means for you. But, you know, you kind of have to just put it out there and see if people will take you up on it or if they feel comfortable meeting with you. We did that actually a lot in Raleigh and Durham when I was meeting with people, just kind of testing their comfort levels and what they wanted to do, knowing that COVID was around. You know, I think our route did not take us on as many places as we wanted to actually see friends. So we got to see family. But anyway, all of this to say, we have been fortunate because we've seen a good amount of family and we've seen some friends along the way. Now, if you stay tuned toward the end, we are going to give you a few tips on how to stay connected with friends and family while you're on the road. Anything else to add?
So in our more recent travels, if you've been watching the previous videos, we were in Raleigh, seeing some friends and family there. And then we saw my mom over Thanksgiving. And now we are starting this video heading down to South Florida, specifically Lake Worth, Florida, to see my dad, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend.
What's up?
You gonna start?
Ben started.
What's up?
What's up?
You're starting.
Ben started. All right, we are heading to Butterfly World, which
is 38 minutes away.
38 minutes away, thank you, Ben. That Steve's dad, Tom, recommended, said it was really a great experience, so we're going to go meet him
There's
there.
about 4,000 butterflies land on you at the same time.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I know, a little creepy, but
hey, I had a bee sting on my foot.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt that bad.
Yeah. Well, does everyone see Haley's lipstick? Haley, you want to show them your beautiful lipstick? Haley put some makeup. We put some makeup on together, and that was her lipstick. So we're heading to Butterfly World. This is the first time we've gotten out of the campground since.
By the way, we had our live influenza on.
Monday, and now it's Thursday. So we're finally getting out of the campground. We'll see you at Butterfly World.
Like that butterfly, Haley?
I'm like, Mommy, don't look at this.
She's on her way over.
Big?
I want Mommy to see it.
Oh, you want Mommy to see it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mommy and Ben.
Ben, look at how big that butterfly is.
Let's go.
He just opened his wings.
Oh, look how beautiful that butterfly is.
Mommy, touching it.
Haley, what do you think about the butterfly so far?
I like it. It's so cool.
they cool?
Fighting over it. See that?
They're fighting over the food.
Yeah.
You wanna hold it? You wanna feed the birds? They're gonna get on top of you. Or you want mommy to do it? You want them to do it? Okay, I'm gonna get on top of you. Okay? Yeah. How's that? How's that? Ooh, how's that? Check that out. Haley, the birdies are nice, aren't they? Pretty cool. Uh-oh, somebody else wants some. Uh-oh, here comes somebody else wants some. Oh, we got a lot of hungry birds. We got a lot of hungry birds, don't we, Haley? Yeah.
All right, Jen, you want to give us a little review?
Sure. I thought it was really cool. The butterflies, I could stay there for a while. The birds were cool, and kids seemed to like it. It's a beautiful day. Overall, nice butterfly center.
Cool.
What do you think?
What did you think, Haley?
Haley?
What do you think of this place?
I like it.
So glad. You were so brave with those birds.
What was your favorite part?
The feeding birds.
Oh, the
Feeding birds. Cool. All right, so what did you think?
Feeding the birds is the best.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And the bazillion butterflies. And watching them change from caterpillars to butterflies.
Yeah. All right, so we are having a wonderful time so far in South Florida. We went to Butterfly World yesterday, which was great. Now we're gonna head down to the beach and check that out. We'll see you there.
I woke up feeling like this gon' be my day. I got that poppin' fire every step I take. Living that wild life, not stopping down no way. Just seeing green lights won't ever touch the brakes. Let me tell you something. 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 Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is life deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling.
We are leaving John Prince Park Campground, and it's amazing. 5 stars. Like, this definitely, if it weren't for Glacier National Park being close, it rivals the West Glacier Gateway, I think. Had everything, even things I wasn't expecting, like recycling and really cheap laundry. So the laundry was 50 cents to wash and 25 cents to dry.
And we had a really good site, so there's a big open field behind us with a close view of the playground, so we could sit at the picnic table and the kids could play, and it feels like our family is mostly in harmony.
Yeah, it was great. Great running trails. We got to see this family nearby. I was already trying to book reservations for next year, but Steve said it was too soon. He doesn't want to commit, but I see us coming back here next winter. It's
And we
gorgeous.
should get the spot again, or at least that spot or that spot.
Exactly. So, originally they had us in a different spot that seemed real cramped and crowded, but luckily another worker who was overhearing our conversation moved us to this spot. And big open field
Is that good that
playground.
she overheard the conversation?
Yeah, because we could have ended up in a really cramped spot where we had to actually park our truck across. But luckily they got us in. We got to park our truck right here. Great camera. Oh, I didn't even say the price was like $35 a night.
Good.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, and now, are you ready for Ann now?
Yeah.
Okay, and now we are heading toward Gulf Shores, Alabama, where Jen's dad lives. We'll be there for Christmas.
Yeah, are
Our
we
first
going
stop, we're on our way there. Our first stop's going to be in Wildwood, back at Three Flags. We're gonna stop in and see my mom for a night, and then head to Apalachicola, and then head to Gulf Shores. So
Yeah, 2 more nights on the road, and then we are going to be parking our rig for a few weeks. Exciting. So we are at Coastline RV Park in East Point, Florida.
And we're just doing a one-night stint so we can get back to Gulf Shores to go stay with my dad and get the RV fixed. But an interesting note about this RV park is that we had reservations here earlier in 2020, but one of the caps on my teeth fell out, so I was pretty much walking around with a tiny tooth, and it was not a good look. So we needed to skip this park. They gave us a credit, and then we just headed back to Alabama to get the dental work. So it is beautiful. We thought about staying one more night because, you know, one night we didn't get in till 5 o'clock, I think, last night. And, but we're just going to head out anyway. You know, one thing I want to mention is that we use RV Trip Wizard. And I plan all of our travels that way. And there's sometimes, as the instance yesterday and then today, that what shows up when I'm originally planning, so 4-hour trip, turns into a 6-hour trip when I turn it into the RV Trip Wizard GPS. That happened yesterday, so what I thought was a 4-hour trip was a 6-hour trip, and again today. So we're just gonna eat breakfast and get out of here. So just something to be, you know, aware of, that your GPS could change and add an extra 2 hours to your trip, which luckily the kids did excellent yesterday, and I know they're going to do good again today, right guys? They're been told not to talk, but they said yes. So we will see you in Alabama.
What happened to us? Fading to dust, making excuses. Oh, what changed in our stars? The whole sky was ours. Now I feel stupid. I hate talking this way. We're both the same and rolling it over. There is no one to blame, just white turning gray for us. We used to be each other's kings and queens.
We are about to arrive at Jen's dad's house in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and he's got a bit of a tricky driveway to get into. I remember when we first started RVing and we pulled it off. We pulled up here. It took me a few tries to get it in, so we'll see how I do this time.
So Steve got backed into the driveway a lot better than he did the first time. We are now stationary at Gulf Shores, Alabama at my dad's house, and we'll be here till the start of January. And we just wanted to bring you a few tips on how to stay connected to friends and family on the road. And I'll start with one of them, and one of them is really just simple. You plan your route and then you go, who's around, right? Who do I know in these areas that I could potentially get in touch with? And all that requires is going, okay, who do I know in Colorado? And then you start reaching out to people and seeing if you could meet up. I know that I had a friend that was in the Yellowstone area, and we were going to be there at the same time, but it didn't end up working out, but we at least made an attempt at it. So that is one tip. I don't know if you want anything to that.
Yeah, so we didn't really get to see as many people as we wanted, and I think a lot of that had to do with the COVID. Some of our friends weren't as willing to be as open, I guess. They weren't as, I don't really know the right words to say.
They wanted to be cautious, which is
They were more
understandable.
cautious, yes.
Yeah.
Especially since we were traveling around, I guess, in an RV. Maybe they were concerned.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, like kind of what I said before is like you put the gentle outreach. It's okay if you don't want to get together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I reached out to a friend when we thought we were going to Colorado and was like, hey, I'd love to get together. I understand if you're concerned or anything like that. And I think we eventually were thinking about meeting up at a playground with it being outside. We didn't end up going to Colorado, but it kind of can feel a little weird knowing that there's COVID, but it just is you reached out to a couple of friends when we were in Florida, and they were being cautious, and we're like, let's just not worry about it. We'll see you next time. So there's no shame in that. Everyone's got their own and needs to have their own boundaries. So just reach out, and you could plan your route according to where you know people, but we never did that. We just said, here's where we're going to be. Who do we know in the area, and how could we meet up? And as we said at the beginning, we saw Jeff twice, my brother Jeff, in Glacier. He drove to Glacier to meet us, and then we took a little dip into Washington. You can see those videos, but and saw him. So I got to see him twice. And when you think about it, we lived in Raleigh, North Carolina. He lives in Spokane, Washington. Clear across the United States. That would have never happened to see him twice in a year and his family. So that was fantastic. And also got to see my other brother twice. So plan your route and then reach out to friends who are on the way and see who you can meet up with.
And then we just came back to the East Coast for the holidays, and then we're heading back out west after that. And it was, it was a little trying getting back across the country as quickly as we did, and we also ran into some weather. But in general, getting across country in the RV is more relaxing than going on a trip and trying to fly here and there and everywhere.
Yes, definitely it's easier. It's easier than flying, and we'll see what happens in 2021 with COVID, because I own a business and I would love to actually connect with future business prospects and contacts in different cities. It's not really the time for that yet, but hopefully soon I can reach out if I'm in an area and say, hey, I'm in the area, can we have a chat? So it could be.
So to summarize, I don't think we would have seen nearly as many people as we did if we were flying.
Yeah. Did we go off the rails on that one?
It was a little long.
That's a little long-winded. All right. 2. This is one that's interesting because friends and family, we can see them sometimes depending on our route or not, depending on COVID. But you're also meeting people. And so how can you meet people, new people, but actually stay in touch? And I have a few outstanding things that I need to do in this realm. Like, we met this really nice person, Jerice, in Harvest Host, and she welcomed us to Wisconsin when we got there. I have her email address, and so I need to go email her just to stay in touch. So it's not some random thing in 2 years where I'm like, we're in the area, do you remember us? So meeting people, staying in touch. We met some people at the boat parade in Gulf Shores, so I kind of put myself out there, which can be kind of awkward, and say, hey, we're in town for a few more weeks. Do you want to get together and have a drink? So staying in touch with people that you meet on the road.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm not highly skilled at staying in touch with people.
Well, the good thing, especially with, I kind of take the reins with the meeting new people and staying in touch. Steve,
I like to meet new people.
You did.
I just don't generally stay in touch with them.
Staying in touch thing's a bit of a problem. But the thing about, I think, maybe different between men and women, it's not always this way, so correct me if I'm wrong, that men seem to have friendships that you can just pick up the phone in like 2 years and be like, hey dude, what's up? That's kind of like a lot of your friendships, right? You just, hey, I'm in town, and they can just pick up where they left off. And I have a few friends like that, no doubt, but I also want to see them in between those 2-year increments. Which brings me to my 3rd tip, which is Zoom calls or messenger calls, or anything that you use. I use Zoom all the time, but I also, with my brothers and my dad, we use Facebook Messenger, and there's a video chat in there. Staying in touch is really important. I have 2 good friends that we meet every other week just to stay in contact with each other. And we've kept that as a normal on the schedule, which can be kind of trying. I've had to reschedule quite a few times if we're, like, it's a travel day or it's just a day that I can't make it, and they've had to reschedule some too. But that's been really important to me because even though I'm surrounded by my lovely family, my husband and my beautiful kids, sometimes I just need that adult friendship time with my lady friends, just to have that time. So making it a priority and staying in touch is vital. Otherwise, you're going to lose touch, and it's going to be harder if you decide to go back to where you started. But ultimately, staying in touch with those friends.
I don't have anything to add. I'm not relating all that well to this conversation.
You may not be either. Again,
I could relate well to seeing more family in person in the RV. That's awesome. I don't do Zoom calls with friends. I don't really do phone calls with friends, but I should.
If you want to stay in touch with Steve, don't expect a phone call or
I might text every once in a while.
yeah. And the funny thing is he's the extroverted of the two of us. So he likes being around people. He just, it's the contact piece, staying in contact. But I know it is an issue, as Steve stated before, that people worry about kind of how do you make friends, how do you have friends, how do you keep friends on the road, and it is possible. It takes work, and sometimes it takes putting yourself out there in some uncomfortable situations in order to either make a new friend or keep an old friend. That's it.
That's it?
That's all I got.
All right.
You got nothing else to add?
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Hope it didn't drone on too long, but...
And if you did, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you have not already done so. And if you have any information to add, please comment below.
Yeah, how do you keep in contact with your friends if you're on the road? Do you have that as a concern? Do you have a plan in place? Do you care? Or are you like Steve? You're like, I'll see him when I see him. We'd love to hear from you.